Everyone seems to be freaking out about AI. Don't. The thing about the end of the world scenarios and conspiracy theories in general is that they often rest on a faulty premise: the intelligence of human beings. I know from my prior experience working in government, there's absolutely no way these people have the intellectual firepower to conceive of a sophisticated and effective conspiracy, much less carry one out. Although certainly smarter, the same holds true in the private sector. These people may be very good at certain things or not, but they just don't have the intellectual wherewithal to carry off a major conspiracy. And even if they did, they certainly would not have the ability to pull it off, because it would, by definition, require involvement from other people. Some of those people would be normal, dumb humans. And poof goes the conspiracy. Anyway, I know this is a pretty unpopular point of view these days, and I guess one could imagine that the doomsday scenarios now being envisioned for AI might be different because they are not dependent on human intelligence. Are they? Well, actually, yes, they are. Who do you think invented them? First of all, let me be clear what I mean when I say that artificial intelligence is not an existential threat to humanity. I do believe that AI is capable of fooling us into thinking and doing stupid things. We've already seen lots of deep fakes. Most of them at this point are pretty amateurish and easily detectable. But they'll get better over time, and they will undoubtedly convince the lazy and the gullible of some things that simply aren't true. But even the smartest AI in development, or even in the conception stage, is much dumber than the average human. In fact, it's much dumber than the average house cat. A house cat has a mental model of the physical world. It has persistent memory. It has some reasoning ability and a capacity for planning. None of these qualities, none of them, are present even in the most advanced artificial intelligence programs in existence or even in development today. I have for a long time been a big fan of self-driving cars, but their level of sophistication has been a great disappointment. This is because no machine in the world is really capable of learning in the way that we define that term. Self-driving cars are getting better and better, but it's only because they've been programmed by humans to handle an increasing number of possible driving scenarios. One quick example. What happens if you come to a construction site which requires you to stay to the right? The computer has absolutely no idea what that means. It has to be told. You must drive at a specific angle, at a specific speed, for a specific amount of time, and when you reach the end of the construction zone, you can return to normal driving. Scenario number 2. There's a construction zone on the left side of the road. Entirely different scenario as far as the computer is concerned, which has to be plotted out at the same level of detail. Anyway, the day that we will know that artificial intelligence is actually becoming intelligent will be the day that we can predict the weather 24 hours out with an accuracy of 1/10 of a degree Fahrenheit and 1/100th of an inch of precipitation. We are nowhere close to that, really not much closer than we were decades ago. In the case of artificial intelligence, although there are many very smart people saying that it's going to kill us all, you don't necessarily have to rely on me for an opposing viewpoint. You can rely instead on Yann LeCun, one of the so-called godfathers of the artificial intelligence movement. He oversees one of the largest and best-funded AI research organizations in the world at Meta Platforms, formerly Facebook. The cat analogy that I used earlier, in fact, comes from Mr. LeCun, who recently remarked on X in response to what he perceived to be AI fear-mongering. He said, and I quote, "It seems to me that before urgently figuring out how to control AI systems much smarter than us, we need to have the beginning of a hint of a design for a system smarter than a house cat." He's not wrong. Obviously, he believes in the power and potential of AI. After all, that's where he is spending his time and his energy. But he believes that the future of AI for the foreseeable future is as a servant, not as a master. A fellow expert by the name of Yoshua Bengio sums up the true agenda of many, but certainly not all, AI apocalypse boosters. I don't think we should leave it to the competition between companies and the profit motive alone to protect the public and democracy. That is why I think we need governments involved. What a surprise! We know those on the far left love any kind of program as long as it's compulsory. This is also, disappointingly, becoming a feature of the far right. Folks, listen to Milton Friedman. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Given the choice between government bureaucrats and the free market in making a decision that is supposedly critical to the survival of humankind, I will take the free market every time.